The general public needs to know more about Rotary. If you could reach 10 people and inform them about Rotary, you would jump at the chance. If you could talk to 100 folks about some of the great things that Rotary Club is accomplishing, then you should. If you could somehow reach hundreds of millions of people and tell them just about a few of the good things that Rotary International accomplishes, I'll bet that you would. Rotarian Paul Harris said, "In the promotion of Rotary, it is important to reach large numbers, and you cannot reach them privately." The Tournament of Roses Parade from Pasadena, California is a very public event. The Rose Parade reaches large numbers. The Rotary Rose Parade Float Committee has been involved for years with the parade. Here is incoming Rotary 2009-2010 President John Kenny from Scotland.
I would like to talk to you about a project that has for many years helped to improve the public image of Rotary, the annual Rose Parade Float. This is not an official program of Rotary International, and it is not funded by Rotary International, but we have endorsed the efforts of the Rotary Rose Parade Float Committee to enhance the image of Rotary around the world. This has been funded by Rotarians from the United States and Canada, and we've had an entry in the parade every year since 1980. My theme for the year is "The future of Rotary is in your hands," and the theme this year on the float will encompass this Rotary theme.
Here's an example of how the TV commentators treat Rotary.
Okay, bringing some Shakespeare entertainment to the table, Rotary International seizes the moment with this scene straight out of A Midsummer Night's Dream. This is called Make Dreams Real.
This is a lovely piece.
Yeah, many years ago in the city of Chicago, I believe it was, these gentlemen would get together and have meetings, and they would rotate from one guy's house to the other.
Yep.
Thus came the word Rotary Club.
That's right.
And now there are Rotary Women. This marks the 20th anniversary of Rotary Women.
They do a marvelous work.
Outgoing 2008-2009 Rotary International President D.K. Lee from Korea also recognized the value of the parade exposure.
The parade entertains an international audience, broadcast in 11 languages to nearly 400 million people in 100 countries. It is hard to believe that we could have a better opportunity to promote Rotary. We love Rotary, and this is one way of showing that love to millions of people across the world.
The 121st Tournament of Roses Parade will begin Friday, January 1st, 2010 at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. There will be high-stepping equestrian units, spirited marching bands, and majestic floral floats. It will be broadcast live and often repeated on the American Broadcasting Company, the National Broadcasting Company, Univision, Home and Garden TV Network, Travel Channel, RFD TV. KTLA will provide the broadcast for the Tribune Network and many foreign networks. In all, more than 200 nations and territories will see the broadcast. The Rose Parade will beam up to the satellites in 12 different languages. Some of the smaller countries will add their own language for local distribution. Experts agree that the broadcast of the Rose Parade is one of the highest-rated non-sporting events in the world every year. Some say the audience reach is over 400 million people, but that figure is just an estimate. 2006-2007, former Rotary International President Bill Boyd from New Zealand is quite familiar with the parade and the exposure that Rotary receives from its participation.
I've seen it in New Zealand, which seems to be a long, long way away. And yet I know that the audience here in the United States is huge. When you add on another 100 countries who are seeing it, what better example could we have of creating Rotary awareness?
Every year, the Tournament of Roses has a theme. The theme for 2010 is A Cut Above the Rest. The float we are building for 2010 has a theme also, and it is Service Above the Rest. Here's a sneak peek preview of what the float will look like when it takes to the parade route for the first day of 2010. Last year, Over 1,100 volunteers helped to decorate the float in the final days and hours leading up to parade start time. The volunteers included Rotarians and their families, Rotaractors, Interactors, and more. Folks who didn't mind getting a little messy while gluing flowers and leaves and seeds on every square inch of the float. If you're going to be in Pasadena, California on the days leading up to the parade, and you would like to be involved in the final float preparations, there is a sign-up sheet at the website www.rotaryfloat.org. There is also some of the Rotary Float history and pictures of past floats, making a visit to rotaryfloat.org a worthy one. Here is 2004-2005 Rotary International President Glenn Estes Sr.
Rotary's representation in the parade depends entirely upon the generous contributions of Rotary clubs in the United States, Canada, and areas of the Caribbean to the multi-district Rose Parade Float Committee. I hope you will support this special effort.
So who pays for the float? It's not paid for by Rotary International. The Rotary Float is funded by contributions from Rotarians throughout the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean. 93% of the funds raised go directly into building and entering and decorating of the float. There is no professional staff. There are no committee perks. Here's another look at how the world gets to hear about Rotary.
30,000 Rotary clubs in 160 different countries. So to all of our viewers around the world, love to you Rotarians who do so much good work.
Rotary International is working toward the goal of worldwide eradication of polio by the year 2005.
We need your help. $3. That's all we ask. $3 from you will allow this good work to continue. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a marvelous day.